Hello viewers, mornings, another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses of work, health, and strength is good or excellent. What are we talking about here? Let's see, Starfield 2. We got Beyond Good and Evil 2. Rise Son of Rome 2. And I was looking to see if I can find any kind of leak on Scalebound. So yeah, man. I'm trying to figure out if there's any news or any leak. Anyway, what I got here? Let's see. Let's deal with Starfield first. It says here, Starfield was flawed, but its sequel will be one hell of a game, saying Bethesda. Starfield 2 will address everything players criticize. Yeah, the same could be said for Redfall 2, you know. If Microsoft didn't, if Phil Spencer didn't dissolve Arcane Studios, you know. Anyway, it says here, Starfield was a bit of a hit and miss for everyone. While the general universe was quite fun to explore, many of its mechanics were tried together behind several loading screens. Therefore, the entry received a lot of criticism, even over its controversial gameplay elements. However, Bethesda developer now thinks Starfield 2 will be much better in every aspect. Designer Bruce Neesmith has now claimed that Starfield 2 will be one hell of a game. The devs think that most popular franchise also saw more success in their second or third release because they already had a blank slate to work on, meaning that the first game was the foundation for things to come. Yeah. Anyway, you know, like some YouTubers, they have a tendency to try to tear things down and think it cannot be fixed. But anyway, it says here why it matters. The positive outlook for Starfield suggests that Bethesda is willing to learn and grow from the first title hiccups. It says here, in an interview with video gamer Bruce Neesmith said that Starfield 2 will address many of the fans' criticism and include many missing features. He indirectly admits Starfield faults and note that it would be a baseline for the next game to make development easier. It says, I'm looking forward to Starfield 2. I think it's going to be one hell of a game because it's going to address a lot of things people are saying. It says, for those not in the know, even Shattered Space DLC for Starfield launched to negative reception. However, devs were quick to defend the game, claiming that it rivals Elder Scrolls and Fallout. And it says, what's it? That's it. That's the end of the article. So, Starfield 2 is coming, folks. Now, what else we got? Let's see here. What are we doing here? Oh yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2. It says here, Beyond Good and Evil 2, not canceled. Even not canceled. Now, new developers assigned to the game. Half a decade of radio silence aside, Ubisoft has confirmed that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in active development, but no release date window was given. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in active development, Ubisoft has officially told Eurogamer. It says recent report from the Insider Gaming have prompted Ubisoft to deliver a statement on specific games, including Beyond Good and Evil 2. Source told IG that the Prince of Persia dev team has been disbanded, with multiple team members moving over to other projects such as Rayman game. One of these projects is also apparently Beyond Good and Evil 2, which has remained in development for quite some time. Ubisoft showed off Beyond Good and Evil 2 first gameplay footage half a decade ago with the cinematic trailer, also released in 2018. Now the French games maker has once again commented on the sci-fi sequel. In a statement to Eurogamer, Ubisoft confirmed some managerial changes with the Beyond Good and Evil 2 team, said the project is still alive. With more than 20 years as an award-winning game designer and creative director, Fawzi Mesmar has been instrumental in the success launch of over 20 video games. Mesmar previously collaborated with Beyond Good and Evil 2 team as vice president of editorial. In his new role, he focused on continuing to build upon the vision set forth by our late friend and colleague Emily Morel, Ubisoft told the website. And it says Emily Morel, the game previous creative director, passed away or died unexpectedly in 2023 from a brain aneurysm. Yeah. Fawzi Mesmar, who was recently promoted to creative director on the franchise, also put a statement discussing his current role. Today I'm glad to share that I joined Beyond Good and Evil 2 as creative director. I have been working with those peeps for years now in the ambitious game and witnessed their talent firsthand. I am standing on the shoulder of creative giants that have supported the team before me and look forward to continuing to craft a game that is truly unique for players to enjoy. Then he says here, Ubisoft hasn't said much about BGE, Beyond Good and Evil 2, but it's also possible the publisher is trying to adapt some sort of AI gen tech alongside the game in order to facilitate better generate content structure and economies. Yeah, speaking of AI, I had just seen an article talking about who was that? I think it said Microsoft beat Apple to the phones with AI, something like that. But anyway, yeah, AI is a big thing. Another piece of AI news too. I think it's Microsoft and Nvidia. They're like teaming up. They're trying to help startup companies in the AI department. So yeah. Anyway, all right. What else I got here? Let's talk about Rise, Son of Rome 2. Yeah, people want to know about this game, big time. And this was back in 2023. Crytek. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's two articles here. See if I can get it. Oh, come back here. Okay, here we go. Rumors, Rise, Son of Rome 2 in development. And then it says, well known that Microsoft blundered the launch of the Xbox One in 2013, focusing its effort on making the console appealing to mainstream audience through TV integration and losing its grip on the gaming market to create an all-in-one. Despite this and many other issues, the system still managed to have a somewhat surprising lineup with the major exclusives like Capcom, Dead Rising 3, Crytek, Rise, Son of Rome. Now, according to a noteworthy industry insider, Crytek is preparing to follow up Rise with a sequel that will launch on multiple consoles. And it says here, Rise, Son of Rome first released on Xbox One as a launch title in November 2013. The game was an exclusive title developed by Crytek on its internally developed game engine, CryEngine, the same tool used to power its popular Crysis series. The game is a third-person action title that originally started development as an Xbox 360 Connect title under the name of Project Kingdom, before moving to Xbox One platform, eventually releasing on PC in 2014. The game was met with mixed critical reception at launch, but has since become a cult classic among Xbox fans. Then it says, while Crytek was disappointed in the game's sales, that doesn't seem to have stopped the developer from wanting to return to it, as a rumor are appearing once again that Crytek is currently developing Rise, Son of Rome 2. This comes from Xbox era host Shepsel Ed state in the newest episode of a podcast. So this person told me, yep, there's a new Rise in development. I can't give you a date. I can't give quarter of when things are happening, but I mean, that's just there a rise. Just that there's a rise in development, and like I said, I have been given pictures of stuff that leads me to believe this person is legit. As it goes on to mention that the sequel will be multi-platform, break from the first game, which was exclusive to Xbox One on PC. This is likely mean that Crytek has acquired the IP from Microsoft and could even be working on porting the original game to other platforms such as the PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch, as it did with Crysis Remaster. This could pave the way for Rise 2 being full Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 title, taking advantage of the Cry engine on the newest generations of console. They're probably gonna have to change that to Unreal 5, the Unreal 5 engine. It says it's not often sequel to launch titles get greenlit so long after their release. At this rate, Rise has gone an entire console generation without any sequel, follow-ups, or remix, so it will be exciting to see how Crytek approach reinvigorating such an old and niche IP that had just more than a little fanfare for almost a decade. Regardless, while the rumors are piling for Rise, it may be too early to expect an announcement at E3, as leaked documents from Crytek last year indicate that the game was only being pitched or in early production. Well, look, when it comes to Rise Son of Rome, it goes back to what Phil Spencer said about letting Bungie walk through the door. Maybe they should have held on to that game, instead of letting it go multi-platform, and maybe they could have gotten it developed already, because this was back in 2013. So we're in 2024 now, and we haven't heard anything from about Rise Son of Rome. I was just on Reddit too, and reading some comments about it, and people want to know what's going on with the game. So yeah, it's overdue now. It's the same thing with like with Scalebound. People were looking forward to that game, and then that game never got made. So yeah, we'll see what happened in the days and months and weeks to come. But yeah, Rise Son of Rome should have got a sequel. The first game is always the foundation for how the series, if they wanted to turn that game into a series, the first game is always the game that starts everything, and then you just, you take the second game and then build it off the first, and then improve a lot of things and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think fans should. And this article was written on Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. This is 2024, so we haven't heard anything, anything new about this game. So so I'll keep you guys in the loop. Okay, what else we got here? See, we got Rise Son of Rome. Okay, we got who's that? We talked about Starfield. Talked about Beyond Good and Evil. Okay, Palworld. Palworld community managers say, if you genuinely hate it, stop thinking about it. Your hate serves only to upset yourself and feed grifters their views. Move on. It says Palworld global community manager has written a heartfelt response to the recent anti-Palworld wave, saying if you're hyping a building full of people losing their jobs, then it's not an us problem, it's a you problem. He says in a lengthy message posted to Twitter or X, Bucky called out hilarious emotional takes, noting that Willis' hateful comments are running rampant in the game scene these days. The Palworld ones are particularly silly. He says, you just throw out accusation based on vibes, and if you aren't doing that, then it's just hilarious emotional takes like, can't wait for you all to lose your job and go bankrupt, Bucky wrote. He said, if you're hyping a building full of people losing their jobs, then it's not an us problem, it's a you problem. These sorts of over emotional takes are running rampant in the gaming scene these days, but Palworld ones are particularly silly. He says, the sad part is most of the direct hate on Palworld is bait. Some random account that posts 24 plus times a day and struggle to get 1,000 views per post pick up Palworld as an easy target, get a cozy $500,000 off a low effort. Palworld is slop. Post and then milk it for a week, they add. If you hate Palworld, I mean, if you genuinely hate Palworld, then do yourself a favor and mute us on Twitter. Hide the game on Steam and stop thinking about it. Who wants to dedicate time and energy to things they don't like? Facts. And it says, your hate is, he says, your hate only to upset yourself and feed grifters their views. Move on. In response, iWillie, who seemingly prompted the Bucky message with a viral post early this week, pointing out the similarities between Palworld and Pokemon, said, I would like to state, I don't hate Palworld, never played. He said, think it's cool how they start the year off, TBH. I personally just found this funny and never seen that Pal before and made that comparison. Don't talk bad about Pal, please. They are. And then he says, following last month's shocking announcement, Nintendo is suing Palworld maker Pocket Pair for infringement of multiple patent rights. And IP experts claim it's exceedingly plausible. Nintendo crafted its patent application specifically to target Palworld. But yeah, but they did it right after Palworld came out, not before. Well, this is a good article because me personally, when I do YouTube, like me personally, when it comes to the Wii U, I just bring up the fact that it was a lot of lies that was being spread on YouTube about the console, and a lot of people that do YouTube, when they were talking about the Wii U, they were just spreading lies, and they never really studied the console, and they never told you, like, okay, that Nintendo created a cartridge versus CD problem. None of them tell you that, right? They never told you that Nintendo was serving two different platforms. None of them told you that. They never told you that that the virtual console was like your bookstore, your library, and stuff like that, right? Or the virtual console is like your bookstore, your library, your archive, your bunker, your cave, your museum for your games, right? They never told you that the 3DS was creating a problem for the Wii U because it was in the way, because Nintendo had three situations they were dealing with, and and Nintendo had three situations they were dealing with, and the answer was to move the 3DS out the way and focus on the Wii U and the virtual console. No YouTuber. There's only one YouTuber that mentioned that. That was me. Everybody else never said it. What they do is that they hide the 3DS in the background. In the background, they act like the 3DS was never part of the problem. So every time they try to do a Wii U video, they never want to hold Nintendo accountable for the problem that they create. Okay? The only person that explained the Wii U situation, you're looking at him. It's the same thing with the Xbox console ban situation. It was a scam. It was a scam that Microsoft was running, and I called them out on it. There were YouTubers out there telling you that there's nothing you can do, and they were telling you to buy a brand new console and all this, but they were trying to tell you, oh, it was DRMs. but it was deeper. It was deeper than DRMs. So what I did, I said, okay, let me come at it from this angle. And I said, okay, I came out and I was like, okay, the Xbox is a disposable console. Microsoft is charging you for off and online play, because basically the Xbox was just sitting in your house and you never had control of it. The only thing you could do was take the disc, install the game, and then play it, and then play the game. But you had no offline feature. So they were charging. They gave you an option for like offline play. But that offline play option they gave you, it made you think that you were offline playing, but you weren't. The system was still getting updates. They still had control of the system. You didn't, because offline play means that there's no internet connection whatsoever on the system. Then you add the console ban on top of that now. So you really don't have no control of the console now. The console now, with the Xbox One console now, with the console ban added on top of that situation that I just explained, it makes the Xbox One a disposable console. When I got at Microsoft about that, and especially when I told them, I said, Xbox console bans means PlayStation user base gets bigger. When I got at them over that, they start making changes. They start coming out with, are you planning on, let's say you buy like 100 games, right? You got 100 games on the hard drive. With the console ban, they wanted you to repurchase those games. So they try to say, to try to save themselves now, they came out, they were like, oh, are you planning on using this hard drive on another console? You know why they were asking that question? That was because because of me. Okay? So when I'm talking about video games, I don't harp on something forever. I don't be sitting there harping on it. I just bring up an issue that people don't talk about, and that's where I come in at. So it's the same thing with the console ban. They're like, are you planning on using this hard drive on another console? So that means they don't want you to repurchase those games, like I told you they want you to repurchase, right? Then to save themselves now, what did they do now? The consoles that they banned now, they shut off the Blu-ray drive to the Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One, Xbox One S, and Xbox One S, and then they want you to use the console now as a digital console. So now they want you to buy your games digitally on the banned console that you have. They were trying to cover their tracks. When it comes to the Avengers, I never harp on the game and said the game was terrible. The only thing I said was like, okay, the combat system is fine. The movement in the game, the movement in the game, is fine. It's fine. It's the open worldness, and I gave the illustration of WB Games with DC Universe, and I said DC Universe gave them the blueprint. WB Games with DC Universe gave everybody the blueprint on how to make superhero games, and I said, okay, Insomniac Games took that formula, made Spider-Man, and they ran with it. They had success. Who was that? Rocksteady. They made the Batman Arkham series. They took that formula. They had success. They took that formula and ran with it. They had success. That's the only thing I brought up about the Avengers. I have never, me personally, I have never used any derogatory language or try to tear them down and make it feel like the game is not no good. The only thing I said was the open worldness of the game need to be fixed, because the first scene alone lets you know that this game is missing a lot of content. Like, for instance, you couldn't fly on one side of the bridge. You couldn't fly on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge. You couldn't fly under it. You couldn't fly in a full circle like this, or you couldn't fly in a full circle like that. You couldn't fly under it and then go through the cracks and then land on top of the Golden Gate Bridge, or fly above it. There's a whole bunch of content is missing in that first scene. You couldn't even fly on the top of the high-rise buildings in the Avengers, so all that content is missing. So when I bring up something about a game, I don't tear the game down to where like it cannot be fixed. I just look at it like, okay, the open worldness of this game need to be fixed, and that was it. It's the same thing with Anthem when I brought it up. Anthem is fine. Anthem just needs some DLCs and some expansions. A little bit more open worldness to where you fly above it, like in the clouds above the tower. That would have been nice. Just saying. So that part of the game need to be fixed. But in no way, shape, or form I'm saying the game is a terrible game, like it can't be fixed. Other YouTubers, when they say, oh, a game is terrible, they try to act like the game can't be fixed. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. They attacked the game early. They attacked it early. So when I looked at it, I didn't see where the attack was coming from. And then I went back and looked at it again. I'm like, oh, okay. The game is open world. It's not in the state where like the Avengers were, where your freedom of movement was limited. The game is in an open world environment. Okay. So why is everybody attacking this game? And then I got to realize, like on my own, I got to realize like, oh, this is not a Batman game. That's why they attacked it. They were looking for to Rocksteady to make a new Batman game, and that's not what they got. So when Suicide Squad finally came out, now those people that were attacking the game now, they went back now and try to play the game now, and they try to tone it down now, and they were trying to come up with some kind of other stories like Rocksteady fired the writers of the Arkham series and stuff like that, and they were talking about, they said the game was woke, and then when I look at the character model designs, I'm like, okay, that needs to be fixed. But the real anger for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is because it wasn't a Batman game. Bottom line, okay? That's what they were really mad about. You know, the same goes for like EA, you know, and BioWare. Me, I've never attacked EA, you know, like tear them down like they don't have any value. I've never attacked them. The only thing I probably talked about EA and EA is when it comes to that Star Wars Battlefront, when they put the loot box in it. That was the only problem that was wrong with EA when they brought that up, you know. But and then there were other stories of like EA when they were buying all those studios and closing them down. A lot of YouTubers took that to the extreme. It was like an all-out attack, man. So yeah, me personally, when I do YouTube, man, I don't be trying to tear down a developer like they're not like they're no one, or they don't have any value or anything in video games. I don't attack them like that. So me, I show the developers respect because I know they're humans just like me. So that's where I come in at. But I don't tear them down like to make they feel like they're not worth it. They're not worth anything. Other YouTubers, they take that stuff to the extreme, and their language and their tone and their ranting, and it's like you can't. It's like, you know, you get turned off by that. So for this developer now from Palworld to come out and make the statement that he made, he is right. Okay, he is right. You know, there are a lot of these YouTubers on Twitter and the way they be attacking games, it's unnecessary. It's the same that goes with Redfall. You know, and I think one of the reasons I think they attacked Redfall is because that game wasn't on PlayStation. You know, it wasn't on PlayStation. Like okay, for me, I didn't like the fact that Phil Spencer closed down Arcane Studios. I said, like, you know, the first game could be the blueprint to use to build for the second game, for Redfall 2. That's what I've always brought up. But I've never attacked Arcane Studios like, you know, like they have no self-worth, man. That stuff is unnecessary, man. But people on Twitter and even on YouTube that got their own channel, man, they take stuff too far, man. Like I've seen people where, you know, I remember when I think when Bethesda, Microsoft, when they did the first preview for Starfield, and there was no demo, it wasn't a playtest or nothing. They were just showing the game. You had some YouTubers that, you know, took that video that they saw, and they were trying to use it to tear the game down and try to act like they played it when they never played it. So me personally, when I do YouTube, I don't be sitting there acting like I play a game when I've never played it, and I've never like come at the developer like they owe me something. They really don't, you know. So other YouTubers, man, they be on all out attack, man. Like they going too far with it, man. It's like it's unnecessary. So yeah, man, but this Palworld developer, he's right. He's right, man, and because people, there's people. I mean, think of it. This man even said in the article. Think of it. He said, I would like to say I don't hate Palworld. Never played it. He said, I would like to state I don't hate Palworld. I never played it. But the way you were going about it is like you act like you played the game when you never did, and you were tearing the game down based on your own logic. Me, when I go at a game, man, I look at it like, okay, this is missing, this part of the game need to be fixed. It's not that the game is a terrible game, dude, but this part of the game needs to be fixed. Like a lot of games that have blood, gore, and guts in it, right? If the developers could come up with an option to turn that off, maybe that game is kind of playable. A lot of people will play the game that way. But if you come up with a game that's too bloody and too gory, then, and you don't have a turn off the gore or turn off blood options, then a lot of people won't play them. So when it comes to these games, man, I would say YouTubers, they take things too far. They do. They really do. You know, and they go to the extreme with it, man. And the language that they use, man, is like sometimes you sit back and you look at them, and you're like, wait a minute. This ain't about the developer no more. This is a you problem now. This is a you problem. That's why, you know, I mean, when I do this, you know, I watch the language that I use, man. I really do. You know, I really watch the language. I really watch the language I use, because me, I'm talking about video games, and you know, I'm not out for vengeance with these developers, you know, or out for war to tear them down or anything. Nope. You know, like when I brought up the Capcom and Xbox situation, man, that stuff was going on for years. It's like Capcom was nitpicking with Xbox, and I'm like, okay, we need to address this, and I laid it out the way I did, you know. So it needed to be, man. Like, come on, man. It's like, how is it that, okay, you put Street Fighter 6 on PS4, but you put Street Fighter 6 on the Xbox Series X and not Xbox One, and Xbox One has a big user base. Then you gave Street Fighter 5 to PlayStation only, right? Then you come back now with the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, and then the Switch and the PlayStation gets it, but not Xbox. That's unacceptable. Just saying. So that's when I really went at him about this. Like, this is unacceptable. And I'm like, I picked up on it. During the Xbox and Dreamcast and GameCube days. I picked up on it. I'm like, wait a minute. I picked up on it during the Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube, and original Xbox days. Capcom was going at Xbox, and they were trying to downplay like they weren't, and they were nitpicking like, you gave him Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You gave him, you know, I could sit here and talk about this all day, but I'm gonna make it short. You gave him like a certain amount of games, but the PlayStation you flooded. And that's when I realized they were nitpicking with Xbox, and then with the 360, they were nitpicking, giving them some games, but not all the games. But PS4, oh man, they got a lot. So yeah, But me, I don't. I mean, when I if I'm talking about a game, man, I don't tear it down. Like I don't disrespect the developers. Like they don't have a they're not they don't have no self-worth or self-value. I don't come at them from that. I don't come at them like that, man. I treat those developers with respect. I talk about the game. But other YouTubers, oh man, this is why I said too, there are a lot of people that do YouTube and they don't play video games, man. This person even said it. He said, I would like to state, I don't hate Palworld. I never played it. It would be the same as like when Microsoft and Bethesda did the first Xbox showcase on Starfield. You had people taking that I think it was like 15 minutes of Starfield that they showed gameplay footage. You had people taking that and they were trying to use it to tear the game down before the game even like came out. They never played it. And that's the problem that's wrong with YouTube today. There's a lot of people that get on YouTube, and when it comes to games, a lot of them don't play those games. They never play them, but they're quick to tear the game down as soon before the game hit the shelves, man. And I think this is where this article comes in. But anyway, man, that's my thoughts on the whole thing. Don't want to hold you guys hostage here, though. But I just made this video just to put it out there. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars, Star Trek fan, or Dark Section. Go. Peace.